Hey guys, this is Ben with No Accent Callers, and today we are going to be ranking the top marketing channels to get motivated seller leads for your wholesale real estate business in 2020 to 26. So, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Ben. I'm one of the founders of No Accent Callers. We currently have a 400 person outbound call center, primarily servicing real estate wholesalers, investors, listing agents, flippers nationwide. And we have seen pretty much everything. I've worked with people trying to do their first deal. We have clients who do 80, 90 transactions per month. So we've been able to see behind the scenes of some of the best wholesale real estate businesses across the whole entire country. And we are going to rank every single marketing channel. So, number one disclaimer, all the time people ask me, Ben, what is the best marketing channel? Well, guess what? They all work. Each one of them has their own pros and their cons, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So to start off, we have Billboard. So this is going to be in an A tier. Why? Billboard is one of those traditional ones that you don't really see the modern wholesaler use. So for those who don't know, if you drive and you see a billboard, hey, sell my house for cash. This is very, very common with people who have been in the space for quite some time, and it kind of acts like direct mail where it's pretty expensive and you probably aren't going to convert everybody. Think about it, a intersection that gets 100,000 cars a day. You might get only 5 to 10 calls a day at most, but the people who are calling in from Billboard are going to be incredibly hot, incredibly motivated. Why? They saw a random billboard and wanted a cash offer. Of course, people are like, "Oh, I want a cash offer," and they want, 100 or a million on their $100,000 home. You're not going to sometimes get the most quality leads, but someone who wants to sell, someone who wants a cash offer, it's going to be good. The only cons is that it's relatively expensive. So that example of an intersection that gets 100,000 motivated seller or 100,000 cars a day, that's going to be pretty expensive. That's going to run you a pretty penny. But when they call in, it's going to be a good lead. Next, we have cold calling yourself, and that is going to be in D tier. Cold calling yourself, guess what? It works for people who are just getting into it, who have no money. Well, guess what? If you're trying to scale a wholesale business, it takes money to make money. And cold calling yourself, let's say 4 hours a day, is the easiest way to burn yourself out and to not get any leads. Why? If you're cold calling yourself, odds are you haven't invested into good data. You probably got 400 records. You're making dials off your own phone. Let's say we have 400 records and we make 100 dials a day, probably connecting to 15% of them. So that's 15 conversations that you had in 4 hours. Versus when you have a good telemarketing system, you could speak to around 180, 190 people in a day. Not dials. You can make 2,000, 3,000 dials. It's a waste of your time. It's a grind. It's the easiest way to get burnt out. So the next one that we have is direct mail. And direct mail is going to be an S tier. I absolutely love direct mail. Why? It's incredibly sticky. So unlike a billboard, when the billboard's taken down, you're not going to get any leads. But whenever you send out your mail, it has a lifetime value. So of course, 98% of the mail is probably going to be thrown out. But a boomer who gets that piece of mail, man, they might take it. Let's say this is the piece of mail right here. They might go throw it in their desk. They might go keep it on the counter, and it might be 7, 8, 9 months for them to call in. But when they want to sell their home, when they want to sell it fast and they're in some pain, they're going to remember that postcard, that piece of mail that they have. So it's super sticky there. When they call in, it's going to be really good leads who are really motivated. The cons, it's really expensive. Some people are like, oh, I want to send 500 pieces of mail a month. Well, guess what? Out of your 500 pieces of mail, 98% of them will get thrown out and they won't make it. And 500 pieces of mail, typically at 50 to 60 cents a postcard, that's $250 right there. But to be doing mail at scale, 50,000, 100,000 postcards a month, you're going to be spending 30 to 50 grand with a high risk of most of it getting thrown out. But when the leads come in, they are going to be very, very good. So next in our A tier, we actually have Facebook ads. Facebook ads, I absolutely love them. But first we need to kind of clarify what PPC is. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing PPC. PPC could be 3 things. It could be Facebook ads, it could be Google ads, it could be YouTube ads. And each one of those are going to be different. I have Facebook ads in A tier because it's going to come down to the cost per qualified lead. Guess what? Each one of these marketing channels has its pros and its cons. And when we break down the difference between Google and Facebook, it's really in the type of traffic. So I remember seeing a stat where someone spends 8 hours a day on their screen. 4 to 6 hours a day is going to be on some type of Facebook app. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. 30 to 60 minutes is going to be on Google PPC. But when you do your Facebook ads, because most of the time people are just scrolling on Instagram or on Facebook, you need a really good hook. You're going to get them out of their doom scroll to capture their attention. So that's why a lot of these e-com guys, a lot of these info guys, they talk about the creative. Versus Google, it's pretty much capturing demand. Your Google ads will show up, hey, when I need to sell my house fast. So what are the pros about Facebook? You know, super scalable. You could be in any single state, city, town, county. If you have really good creative systems and you put out a lot, you can get really good quality leads that are pretty cheap, $50 to $60 cost per qualified lead. What are the cons? Most agencies suck and they don't do it well. They put out the same old, like, you get your house fast. They have bad targeting. They have bad pixel conditioning. So you might end up paying $250 to $300 a lead for shit leads that are in rural. So another S tier is going to be Google PPC. So why do I have Google PPC over Meta Ads PPC? I have Google over Meta Ads PPC just because of what I said last time. When you search, I want to sell my house fast, you are capturing demand. You're not creating it with a great hook, with a great scroll stopper. You're capturing it. The only con is that Google PPC is incredibly expensive. So my next B tier is actually going to be PPL. Why? It's a couple things. Well, guess what? PPL could be SEO. PPL could be Facebook ads. It could be Google ads. It could also be cold calling. It could also be text blasting. So each PPL company, you're going to get better leads. Not necessarily if they're lying about it and saying that their Google leads are cold calling leads. But guess what? You're going to be competing with other people. And most of the times, the leads are just going to be And the one benefit you really get is that, hey, you could refund the lead. You're not stuck into any long-term contracts. But the beautiful thing about like a Facebook campaign, about a Google campaign that you own in-house, like it only gets better. You only train it on more data. And if you have a really good agency doing it, it's a big competitive advantage. But the PPL, the way that companies make their money is on the economics of selling the leads. So yeah, you could refund it, but the leads aren't as good. Most likely they're going to be shared. And it's fine. The next one that we have in the B tier is actually going to be radio. So radio is, again, one of those marketing channels that are more for my traditional people. I don't like radio over billboards or TV ads because when do most people listen to the radio? It's going to be in the car. So when they come and call in, they're going to be in the car. They can't make any really good decisions. They might just be interested in a cash offer. They might be bored. I just don't really like radio as much, and it's also pretty expensive. And unlike, direct mail, it doesn't have that stickiness factor too. So the next one that I have in B tier is actually going to be SEO. Why SEO? I just don't think the actual marketing return on your SEO investment is not worth it. I have a bunch of friends who run SEO companies, and the actual search volume there is not that good. So let's say you only have $10,000 a month to spend, and you spend $2,000 for an SEO agency. That's 20%, just to maybe potentially rank and get one or two leads. But don't get me wrong; those leads, when they come in, are really, really good. But I just don't think it is worth it. So next in our C tier, we actually have text blasting. Why? Well, one, it's viciously uncompliant. If you want to get a lawsuit, by all means, go fucking text blast. You get a lot of leads, really low cost per lead, but most of the time it's just people saying yes. And next thing you know, you have a huge follow-up pipeline. You don't know who to work with, and it's overall just a waste of your time. And the juice is not worth the squeeze in terms of the risk. You were soliciting homeowners. It's a very, very easy way to get yourself into trouble. So next in the A tier, we have the TV ads. Why? Most boomers watch TV. Most boomers own homes. They're going to be most likely wanting to sell. And they'll be in front of their home. They'll be like, oh man, like I want to get a fast cash offer now. Boom, I'll call it in. You have them ready. You have them ready for a 60-minute conversation because they're just watching TV. They're not doing anything. And by the time they come in, it's super motivated, but it's really, really expensive. Next in the S tier, we have VA cold calling. Why? You get the most amount of leads at the lowest cost per lead. It's leverage, it's systems, and when done correctly, it could fill the top of the funnel with a lot of leads. You could be super specific by targeting without driving up your cost per lead, because you'll see a lot of agencies on like the Meta side and the Google PP side who like say virtual wholesalers. They'll call them out. Well, why do they call out virtual wholesalers? Because they want those people into their pipeline. well, why do they want virtual wholesalers in their pipeline, not people who are local to their market? Because the more granular you get in the type of market for your Google PPC, your meta ads, the higher the cost per lead gets. So when you do virtual and nationwide, like, of course you can get someone in Austin, Texas, but you also can get someone in like buttfuck West Virginia, but you're going to get overall cheaper cost per lead. But when these PPC agencies take on people from, like, let's just say Austin, Texas, like, they'll pay $500 a lead. No one wants to pay $500 a lead for what could be a shit form fill. So with cold calling, you can get really targeted by your location, state, county, town, zip code, also motivation filters, and it's also VA cold calling. One VA cold caller for $1,500 a month can get you 25 leads. That's a $40, $50 cost per lead right there, and you could scale it a lot. And if you have a good agency like No Accent Callers, they will do it all for you, and you could just focus on the highest leverage thing, closing. And then next, in our A tier, in our final one, we actually have YouTube ads. So YouTube ads, very similar to Facebook ads. You get inbound leads. Sometimes they'll fill out multiple forms. It's a little bit more expensive than Facebook, and you're also catching people who are mid YouTube video binge. It's not like Google where it's capturing the existing demand of people who say they want to sell their house, but they're overall good leads. So that's what we have for the best marketing channels to get motivated seller leads in 2025. Don't be driving for dollars. Don't be doing cold calling yourself. I actually don't even know where my driving for dollars icon is. I actually have it right here. Let's just throw that into the D tier as well. Why? If you think that spending your day driving around burning gas to, maybe this house who has overgrown grass wants to fucking sell, you're just not going